Ubisoft takes the Breaking Bad approach and just throws us in the thick of it to hook our attention from go. And not just throw us in an action sequence, having us man a ship and walk us through the main draw of the game.
It's not about need, Caroline. I want food that don't make me sick. I want walls that hold back the wind. I want a decent life.
Edward's journey starts off from a want and not a need. It's why for so much of the game he keeps moving the goalpost on what is enough. When it comes to something like money, likes, or subscribers, once you hit that milestone, you'll make up a new one. What? I like to win honest humanistic qualities in writing.
All right. No more than 2. Promise me.
Well, we can't be too mad at him since he never said promise, right? 4 to 5 dentists recommend becoming a pirate to attain pearly whites. And after all that, he's laughing. It's not just about the money. He enjoys this life of the squalor of his parents' farm. And the rum is always gone.
I'm on to you, Snakesby!
Snakesby, an insignificant or cowardly person. Try to use that word sometime this week.
Keep your distance!
Must have blown on the powder or something. Duncan is very resourceful.
Mr. Walt.
There's really nothing better than a suit up in conjunction with a beautiful track resolving. I love that Edward doesn't really wear his hood most of the game. He's not an assassin, and it's hot out here. Funny I say this because I remember back at the AC3 launch, Connor's hood was always down after beating it, and I signed the petition to have Ubi patch it back up. I know AC3 introduced similar beautiful animations, but come on, this is so badass. I never noticed Steed wipes his hands off after shaking Edward's hand. To imagine he tried his hand at piracy.
I think it's turned out to be a rather fortuitous day, hasn't it?
My heart goes out to you, Bonnet. The awkwardness coming from James Bachman's performance is palpable.
Your numbers look good. Now let's make sure we can break your brain, all right?
So, after the ending of AC3, we were all wondering how are they going to keep the modern day story going. They did a serviceable job. Though the front-laced elements aren't very engaging, there's a ton of stuff to read and understand for those interested.
But Abstergo Entertainment has been a studio for a few years, since 2010.
There's a kick I get from Ubisoft making what is basically a parody version of themselves into one of their best titles. I'll expand on this later. Hey, it's Rebecca. At least we aren't completely naked and afraid in this new modern story.
The primary tool of our trade, your communicator.
Diegetic HUD. Y'all know I love these.
Edward, the pirate.
Yar, matey.
This physically pains me, but Ubi did a great job with writing a cringy higher-up. I'm sure at least a few of them were writing from experience if you're smelling what I'm stepping in. John's face is cleverly hidden behind the grate to not give away that he's the new sage.
Welcome to Animus Omega, Abstergo Entertainment's proprietary ancestral memory research tool.
Super cool how the Animus tech has developed over the game, starting from a room dedicated to the machine that drove you mad, now just a very intimate Wikipedia.
See someone you know?
No, just putting on a friendly face.
Everyone should be more like Bonnet. Huh. Didn't know till now that pirate is the old way of spelling pirate. Or maybe it's a reference to the Kevin Bacon movie, where Edward and Bonnet are the star-crossed lovers who experience... Wait, what is this? Pyrokinesis? There's a reason the film only has 2.5 stars on IMDb. Can I just say, the parkour has come a long way from the AC1 days. I know it peaks in Unity, but the fluidity compared to the older titles is still worth mentioning.
Bonnet!
I believe I'm getting the hang of this.
Quiet!
I fear they're onto us.
Hang back.
It's probably for the best Bonnet isn't in the game much, you know? Too much of a good thing.
Good lord. Is that big brute your Captain Mendoza?
Look at that little sneak peek at Cyril and Payne.
Will you stay here long?
For a few weeks, yes. Then back to Barbados, to the tedium of domesticity.
Don't settle for tedium. Sail for Nassau.
It makes perfect sense for Edward to suggest this to Bonnet, though it flies in the face of his disguise. For him, it's like he's looking in a mirror when he sees Bonnet.
But no, I'm a husband and a father. I have responsibilities. Life can't be all pleasure and distraction, Duncan.
Hey, Bonnet. The name's Edward, in truth.
And after hearing that, it kind of cuts down to who Edward truly is beyond his pirate facade. Thus, he feels compelled to be truthful with Bonnet.
¿Ese es el hombre? ¿Cómo lo llamabas? ¿Asesino?
Sí, Duncan Walpole.
Debería haber llegado hace muchos días.
Since I don't play with subtitles, I have no idea what they're saying, but they threw me the assassino bone. So we know all these men are talking about us, and raises the anxiety of the situation.
I must say, my wife has a terrible eye for description. She called you devilishly handsome. Obviously a lie to stoke my jealousy.
They had us in the first half, not gonna lie.
I long for the day where one firearm carries 4 bullets, and not the opposite.
I have a friend in England you may like to meet, Julian. James Puckle.
Huh, funny. This game's successor, Rogue, makes brilliant use of the Puckle gun.
Quite ingenious to use bales of hay for cover, don't you think?
Good thing these Templars are very forthcoming with what they hope to see for Edward's sake.
You were expected 1 week ago.
Apologies, Governor. My ship was set upon by pirates. We were scuttled. I arrived only yesterday.
Matt Ryan is right up there among the best performances of this franchise. The way Ryan plays all of Edward's lying is perfect. It's just off enough during this lying brigade that we, the player, are a little concerned any moment the Templars might see through him.
To guide all wayward souls till they've reached the quiet road. To guide all wayward desire till impassioned hearts are cooled. To guide all wayward minds to safe and sober thought.
Super interesting that each of these phrases relate directly to each of the men of which the ring is being placed. Dukas is an arms dealer in essence. The quiet road refers to death, and it's death that Dukas brings readily through his services. Rogers directly fought wayward desire when he was fighting pirates at Madagascar, and for Edward, it's wayward minds. His mind has been long adrift drunk chasing this pirate utopian fantasy, when he needs to come down to sober thought and remember what this was all for.
With this device, there would be no secrets among men, no lies, no trickery, only justice, pure justice.
When I was a kid, I was so anti-Templar, and now replaying these games older, I really understand their position on everything, and they make compelling arguments, and so do the Assassins. It's why the war between these two will never end, and why we keep getting more and more of these games. Rogue touched on it, but we really need more titles from the Templars' perspective.
For yourselves. Until then, let us drink.
Did he really? Fuck it, whatever. Smooth as hell. Edward's like, the fuck is all this? I just wanted some gold.
We'll catch up on it later.
Very punctual, Duncan. This way.
Finally, a script acknowledges the performance of an actor. I know it's not actually uncommon, but it lends to Torres' big brain. Damn, Edward is able to shrug off one of those sleep darts. He definitely rolled 3d6 on his constitution. You know I gotta win the sauce. Love Bonnet.
And there I am, a man of quality.
You know, last time someone said that, they, ended up in a suicidal cavalry charge.
For the 1,000 doubloons spilling from my pockets, like drops of rain, I can see it.
I love the symbolism of the black, empty window. This dream Edward sees is nothing but a hollow void. Oh, thank God he found that armor. Looks much more piratey now.
So that's the idea then. Free what men we can, then find a fast ship to flee in.
Some might wonder, why not take the galleon? That's why.
The man speaks true. You lot weigh anchor. As for the rest, half on the foremast and half at the main. Let's outrun this hurricane.
Yo, just like Hosea, Edward's got some flow. After all the chaos of the storm, the music dropping out and just listening to the water is some beautiful peace to end the sequence.
All hands aft, lads. We're taking this one home.
Why isn't the title card here? I will never know. But hey, a moment worthy of a title is a win.
I'm calling her the Jackdaw. A sly bird I loved as a child back in Swansea.
A dark little creature, no?
Sly bird, dark little creature, all traits this pirate Edward encompasses. But another trait found among the Jackdaw is their inquisitiveness, which Edward has in spades with his hard-on for the observatory.
Tell me I'm under arrest. Tell me!
2 years before the mast, beard, Thatch was just as scary as ever.
Jackdaw. You named your brig after a poxy bird.
Poxy, rotten, lousy, worthless. Learning all sorts of words in this game.
You let him carry a pistol, do you? Peace, Ben. Ade saved my life.
It's only lip service in all reality that they pay here and there, but it's better than pretending this ill thought never existed at all, I guess.
It's worth more than gold, Thatch.
Thatch. I was confused as why they didn't go with Teach, not like figures like this got a copyright on their name. In all reality, we really have no clue exactly what his surname was. Sources have a host of names for him. Tatch, Tech, Teach. Who's to say what the hell its name really was?
You sound a bit green, Hornigold. Is it envy?
No, I reckon it's this Jamaican funk.
Don't you dare talk smack on Tom Brown's Jamaica Funk. You aren't ever listening to that without dancing. And here is where the real game begins. It takes its time to get there, but the payoff is well worth it.
Did you steal that costume from a dandy in Havana?
Oh, smooth. On one hand, Kid's prying to see if Duncan made it to Havana, and on the other, she's deflecting her allegiance to the assassins by disrespecting the assassin coat.
Not keeping secrets from me, are you?
Not very well.
It will not be easy to steal a full Spanish galleon. Have you one in mind?
I do, sir. And I'll show you. She's a fussock, she is. Fat and slow.
This is the first of many, but Mark Bonner murders Thatch. Chews every scene he's in for all it's worth.
As bold as a musket ball, and still half as sharp.
Damn, that's good. I've got to use that sometime.
Que l'enfer que tu trouveras soit le fruit de ton insouciance.
May the hell you find be of your own making. A condemnation that comes true for a short time right before he joins the Assassin Brotherhood.
Maybe give Edward a voice like James Bond or something. More of a ladies' man.
Is he not suave enough as is? I'd fall.
Sample Recovery Unit Team Lead Fisher Case reporting on Subject 17, Desmond Miles.
The only 30 seconds I was interested in, and the entire modern day during the game.
Oh, look who's here. So you didn't forget, after all. You're just incredibly rude.
Maybe I was too quick to judge. It's nice to get a checkup on our old pals, and glad to know Shaun hasn't changed much.
I think you've a natural gift for it. The way you think and work. The way you understand the world.
Kid gives me ammo, my jackdaw's being inquisitive, just like Edward claimed.
Bad excuse is better than none at all.
Is it, though? Isn't it better just to own up to your actions and words than making excuses? What do you guys think?
We're assassins and we follow a creed, aye. But it does not command us to act or submit, only to be wise.
Oh, do tell. I'd love to hear it.
Edward's sarcasm, gotta love it. This temple always reminds me of the ones in Far Cry 3 when you were looking for the knife.
Prancing around in a uniform that you have not earned.
Everything is permitted. Isn't that your motto?
Ha! That's why we love you, Edward, a true pragmatist.
And what is that? Your cause?
To be blunt, we kill people.
It's a small bit of directing, but it's the little things like this that all compound to create great art. The hidden blade coming out as Kid says we kill people is one of those little things.
Safe keeping others from doing the same.
Oh, honey, Snunkles, there he is in all his glory.
Why fly a black flag when a black beard will do?
Sometimes this channel makes me feel silly about how hard I'll try to analyze something, but that's perfect. Growing out one's beard is just another way to show how free you are, where many places might force you to shave as to look proper.
A country called Jackdaw, where I know the names of all citizens and they know mine, and we work together. Not always out of love, but to keep our country afloat.
Man, could some people in this world learn a thing or two from Ade? Forts are kinda just really fun viewpoints when you think about it.
I believe all thinking, feeling men deserve respect and opportunity.
Ah, you Spaniards. Your long ties to the Moors have diluted your blood and softened your hearts.
Last I heard Tiwat Ka speaking, he was clamoring for peace, not this. Yes, I know, it's different voice actors.
Ready?
Your name's not James, is it?
Haha, the mission's called Unmanned, and Kid reveals she's actually Mary Reed, among other things. Roberts is a smart man. Why risk your one shot on a moving target when shooting this bell is most likely to get the job done anyway?
There's little else but piss and insects.
She says as Rackham comes into frame.
Edward? Edward, is that you? My goodness, the West Indies is a compact place.
Oh my god, Bonnet. Not all this, and the eye patch.
Worst men have become better under Blackbeard's watch.
Learning how people got their nicknames is almost never an interesting story, but at least we know now. Oh, give me more Blackbeard.
Give your quarry something to fear. Some hellish thing from a fevered dream. And men will drop to their knees, pleading for their lord before all else.
Oh, God. Looks fine.
Of course it does.
Bear down on our Kenway! Look, Captain! That's where the most gender!
Oh, baby, there is nothing better in these games than when they give us a galley to play around with. And of those, nothing rings more true than the 3 bursts of Queen Anne's revenge. Edward immediately gives way to the devil. No way he could live up to Blackbeard's intimidation.
Edward! Your constant friendship has been my most treasured find on these seas. Well above gold and silver and rum, I prize the courage you have inspired in me this year. Thank you, sir!
That almost brings a tear to my eye. Edward and Bonnet haven't had that many interactions, but look at the impact Ed's had on him. Never take for granted the impact you can have on someone, no matter the time spent.
So I must conclude that you men are the pariahs of Charlestown, and I would profit better by using your organs for chum and your bones for char.
I know it's a straight line set piece that you win by holding forward and sprint, but it's still cool as hell and really makes you feel like a pirate assassin.
Look, lad, I'm late into my 4th decade on this earth, and if I don't find some means to make the 5th a quiet and cozy voyage, I'd rather sink to the devil's doorstep than call myself captain another year.
I'm sad. We didn't get to see more of the devil of Blackbeard, but this arc for him is inherently more interesting. We got to see the devil, but now we get to see the man.
Thanks for this. We'll be in touch.
Ciao, Rebecca. Text me.
Stuff it, Hastings.
Oh, cute. I feel you, Shaun.
Just a short letter home. I reckon she's past caring anyway.
Ah, but you're very much not.
Oh, you're a hard heart that should be softer.
Or soft in parts that should be hard.
Rackham's a bilge rat if I've ever seen one, but damn is he funny.
Well, I'll be hanged. King George has grown tired of our shenanigans.
Of course, the one named Jack is most like our man Sparrow. I know he's from history. Sneaky, sneaky.
Oh, don't sit there like a barrel of wet fish. We're celebrating my retirement!
Tell me about Edward Peach.
See what I mean? Not even the characters in the game know which last name to use. You know, this isn't too different from the version shown at E3. I know that's more of a win for Ubi than AC4, but it's still nice to see a non-Watchdog situation. I enjoy the boarding of this man of war is treated like nothing special until the random cutscene takes over, and we are all like, oh, what? It's reported that Blackbeard took many bullets and sword swipes before he finally breathed his last, and Ubi keeps true to this hearsay.
Kenway! Here! In a world without gold, we might have been heroes!
If that ain't the backbone of this game's story, Edward was a stand-up man and husband, and even recently trying to do his best for Nassau. Same with Thatch. He didn't want to kill anyone not deserving and just live free. The sanitized version of piracy, a la Pirates of the Caribbean, but a noble and relatable one. One, a beautiful score. Two, this music doesn't just go out to Thatch. It cries out for the entire Nassau crew, as the death of Thatch is the beginning of the end for all of them.
What of Thatch, sir? Did he fall?
He drinks damnation.
Eerily similar to the words that Ducasse said to Edward, no?
Looking to find where the princess docks in her spare time.
The princess? A slave ship?
Aye. Blackbeard told me there's a good chance we'd find the sage aboard her.
A ship named the Princess with the Sage aboard it. The Sage is a dread pirate named Roberts.
Don't fuck with me, Jack.
Oh, but it's my mandate to fuck with you.
Charles, you regret this day, Rackham.
I regret most of them already.
Give me a buddy cop game with Blackbeard and Calico Jack, please.
Maybe Horn of Gold was right. Maybe the world does need men of ambition to stop the likes of you from mucking it all up.
I feel like that right there is the whole point of this marooning sequence. Edward's got to realize somehow what really matters. Their creed was to each other, and look how quickly that fell apart. This is a good step to push Edward into the assassin life. Eventually. Right now, it's pushing him further down the wrong rabbit hole.
Stealing a fishing schooner single-handed. Damn canny, Captain.
As is taking back my brig from this pillock.
Quick and easy explanation about what happened at the end of that sequence. And the Kenways are badass. I'm not surprised a lick that Edward pulled that one off. Kingston might not be very memorable, but damn is that riff when you arrive gorgeous.
I thought this buck belonged to the other men who was asking about the princess this morning. So I told him that...
What other men?
Edward interrupting and not caring about Ade's feelings is just another cut to the thousands that eventually drove him away.
If one wishes to use the observatory to, say, spy on King George...
Man, was Rogers holding back to say observe.
The Templars is our family. Where's yours?
Pretty much everything after Thatcher's death is just Edward being spit in his face about what truly matters to him in his heart.
What is the appeal of a creed if it does not yoke all men to like behavior?
Might make a man feel like he belongs to something.
And that there is why Edward turns to the assassins after hitting his rock bottom. He's got nothing and no one by the time he joins up.
Fire, sir! Fire! Take a shot right there!
It's no Queen Anne, but again, captaining a giant vessel always feels awesome. It would have been cool to have the inverse. Give us a sloop or a schooner with their light guns but high maneuverability.
I feel nothing but a hot wind in my ears, Captain.
Is the hot wind he speaks of referring to a fart? Is he saying that Edward is just shitting him?
Tell the assassins. Bring them here and let them protect this place.
I enjoy it so much that Ade doesn't just blindly follow Edward through everything like Shay's quartermaster does. He's a good angel on his shoulder, even if he never heeds his advice.
You could have been a man who stood for something. But you've a killer's heart now. With nothing but metal to show for all your blunders.
Hornigold equating gold to metal is the perfect way to show how superfluous Edward's goals are.
But if you continue on your present course, you'll find you're the only one walking it. With the gallows at its end.
It may be. But now the world has one less snake in it. And that's enough for me.
That's cold-blooded. And you want to know what else is cold-blooded? A snake, so.
Why is it you alone can find what so many want?
I was born with memories of this place. Memories of another time entirely, I think. Like another life I've already lived.
Roberts is considered the greatest pirate during the golden age of piracy, and Ubisoft gives us a reason as to what could have made that so. I always enjoy when the devs just take complete agency away from us, such as this. We can't fight, and our health is constantly going down, and we can't do anything about it.
And from thence to the place of execution, where you shall be severally hanged by the neck, till you are severally dead, dead, dead!
This man gives me life. Sometimes I wake up in a cold sweat thinking of the phrase, dead, dead, dead.
Aye, you can't hang a woman quick with child, can ye?
Haha, even then we were having this conversation. Humans never change.
Damn it. You should have been the one to outlast me.
I've done my part. Will you?
Oof, good luck denying the Assassin Brotherhood after that.
You haven't earned this, but... they suit you.
Olive branches.
Short life and a merry one, that is all. The world owes us nothing more than this. So take what you will, and then die before you live to see yourself made a fool.
Take what you can, give nothing back? What an awful way to live. But hell, at least he knows what he's living for. So many of us nowadays have no clue, just going through the motions because we only get one life. Miserable, like Edward here. This dream/drunk sequence is one of my favorites. It's very plainly taking everything that's racing through Edward's head after escaping prison and putting it on full display for us to see. It's one thing to see a man drunk at a bar, but a whole nother to watch him weather a storm, see all his friends hung by the neck, and hear a story of him layered in references of jackdaw and rams. It's also wonderfully done to show us how rock bottom Edward is.
You put me on the spot, Addy. After leaving me with Robert, I shall have hard feelings about seeing you here. But mostly I'm bloody glad.
Oh, hearing that after experiencing that dream sequence is just so bittersweet.
Addy, listen.
When your heart and your head are ready, visit the assassins. I think you'll understand then.
Ready is the important term there. Ade knows Edward's got it in him to be more than just the man out for gold.
With riches and a reputation, feeling no wiser than when I left home. Yet when I turn around, look at the course I've run. There's not a man or woman that I love left standing beside me.
Ugh, that one hurts to hear, but it's this kind of depth and self-reflection that makes us tout that this is the best AC game in the franchise. And I appreciate Atabai standing on the side to let Edward have his moment of self-reflection. Butting in can ruin the moment in the story you're telling, but in real life can hamper someone's personal growth.
For if nothing is true, then why believe anything? And if everything is permitted, why not chase every desire?
Why, indeed.
It might be that this idea is only the beginning of wisdom, not its final form.
And that right there, I feel, is the big thing that separates the Templars and Assassins. The Assassins know there will always be more to learn and gain, while the Templars always believe they know better. Both are trying to do right by everyone. It's just, no matter what, you can lead a horse to water, but not make them drink.
Thank you, sir. I'll rest here for a time before setting out, if I may.
If I may. What a gentleman.
Do you fear that too? All empty inside?
I do. Devil curse me. I do.
But you're a man of talent and quality, Captain Kenway.
Edward finally gets his payoff of wanting to be a man of quality.
Captain Kenway.
You have something for me?
The present whereabouts of the Templar Woods Rogers.
Whoa, what a deep voice. I can only imagine what it must be like to walk around with a voice box like that.
Va bene. I am ready. We go.
They for real got Roger Craig Smith back just to do this Italian diplomat, and I'm living for it.
Here at the edge of a blade, I find a friend in you at last.
Am I hearing that Edward converted a Templar to the Assassin's understanding?
You're done, Torres.
Torres' death fake out. It's not much, but hey, Sir Ellen Payne's boss battle was a little bit of a shakeup of the combat formula.
When you're holding the treasure yourself.
Torres doesn't know I have it.
So why bring it to him and risk its capture?
I'd like him to know I have it, just before he dies.
Edward's better, but his ego still exists. I can't really fault him for it. At least he's finally giving cute little send-offs to his victims now.
You would see all of mankind corralled into a neatly furnished prison, safe and sober, yet dulled beyond reason and sapped of all spirit. So with everything I've seen and learned in these last years, I do believe it.
You wear your convictions well. They suit you.
Torres shows Edward some respect back in his final moments. No words needed. We know exactly what the letter says.
I don't believe we've been formally introduced. Not in this era, anyway.
Okay, here's like the second good thing to come out of the modern day plot. The Sage being John is cool, I guess.
In a world where pirates rule the waves, these men will discover that nothing is sacred and everyone is committed to rum.
Okay, I lied. This is the best thing to have come from the modern day. This is so funny and made even better that they used their literal AC4 trailer footage with the Instagram filter to make this.
It will work for us, but our goal must be to scatter our operations, to live and work among the people we protect, just as Altair ibn Lahad once counseled.
Ah, he said the OG's name.
I'd be a hopeful man if you were beside me.
England's the wrong way around the globe for an Irish woman.
Fellas, handle rejection as well as Edward does right here.
I've done.
I'm not crying, you are.
right?
For those who don't know, Edward tried to give Caroline a bouquet of flowers to try and impress her through a friend. The symmetry is beautiful. Edward finally now has the courage to present a bouquet of flowers to his daughter and stick by her side. Cried again rewatching this for the script.
And we're on an adventure.
Only a little one, I hope. I can't handle too many more surprises.
This is just super cute banter of Edward trying his best to be a father.
What's wrong, Haven?
I can't see the stage.
Of course they did it. And this is the same theater we open AC3 in.
How's that?
Fine.
It's gotta be one of the best Assassin's Creed games, right? I mean, I'm no judge since I've not played any of them beyond Rogue, but from what I know and can tell, AC4 is a classic among the series. The complaints levied at this game that it's a good pirate game but a bad Assassin's Creed game is just plain silly. Setting a pirate game right in the middle of this conflict is perfect. The fantasy ideals of the pirates align almost directly with that of the assassins. The difference lies that pirates only want to preserve their own freedom, while the assassins want to preserve it for the whole world. So you can see how the leap from pirate to assassin is not hard to make. And continuing on that line of thought, AC4 could have been a recontextualization of what an Assassin's Creed game is. Kid made it simple and short. We kill people. You can kill people in many ways, not always does it have to be from a stalking bush or high perch. Assassin's Creed is about the fight between absolute freedom and controlled freedom. You could set this narrative to any backdrop and have it work. It works very well with naval combat, and who's to say we couldn't enjoy the entire modern day story with guns and the like? I would love to see that. Let's hope that Assassin's Creed Infinite plays around with this idea. Assassin's Creed at this point has become less about sneaky ninjas, and that is 100% okay. These newer AC games are a good lesson in letting go of our expectations and desires. I'm sure these companies were exhausted from creating the same game over and over again, which explains the branch out to RPGs. Don't take this as me defending their business practices. I digress. Back to AC4 and the way they handle the Templar-Assassin conflict. The Assassin and Templar conflict is present throughout the entire game, with Edward stuck in the middle of it. For me, that makes its status as an Assassin's Creed game even stronger. Having a more neutral party pick apart and play both sides for a time is inherently more interesting than a self-righteous man fighting the bad guys a la Ezio. Don't get me wrong, love our man Ezio, but Edward is much more our everyman. He is set with a noble goal of a comfortable life with the woman he loves, only to be slowly perverted by the allure of gold, status, and ideals. Watching Edward struggle and fail throughout the entire game is the best part of the story for me. Take this in contrast to Ezio in AC2. After killing Vieri, he barely struggles to kill each and every one of his targets, let alone losing everyone he held near and dear. I mean, his brothers and father, yes, but he still has so much other family in blood and with the assassins. Edward has no one by the end. Anyway, there's two ways stories like this handle throwing all this adversity in conjunction with the protagonist's character arc. There's the Ezio way, where they become a paragon of good and make all the right choices for the betterment of themselves and the world, and then there's the way AC4 does it with Edward, and I love it so much. Every time he overcomes an issue, it doesn't teach him some grand lesson about being better. Edward constantly feeds into the negative energy being put off from all this adversary. Take the conversation between him and Vane. Edward tells him not to save him a spot in hell because he believes he's not coming soon. This is awesome because he knows the kind of man he is. Not a good one. But self-awareness doesn't absolve us of anything. Having this reverse arc, where instead of constantly getting better to the point of moral self-revelation, Edward dives darker and deeper in the exact opposite of what he needs. He refuses to take any accountability. Instead, even when drowning in the bottom of the bottle, is chasing his desires, screaming at Roberts for the crystal skull, pushing back when all the specters are screaming at him. I'm talking like he doesn't finally have his moral self-revelation. He does, and I'll touch on that in a second. But for me, the build-up to the dream sequence was what AC4 hit out of the park. They could have been mad lads and have Edward become nothing by the end of this story and end up just like Captain Vane's father. If the game ended shortly after the dream sequence and we played what I like to call the epilogue as Ade, holy fuck would that have been insane. Some Red Dead vibes, you know? Turn Edward's story into a more cautionary tale than it already is. Nuts. That's all I gotta say. I'll hop off the make-believe horse because I've been doing that a lot recently with these conclusions. Now, Edward does come to his senses after hitting rock bottom. That's only because of one thing. Adewale. The man who stuck by his side the longest willingly. The last of Edward's friends to forsake him is the only one that brought him back. I love this. Ade had to give Edward the tough love to hopefully help him see the light. Now, here's the kicker. It's not until Ade greets Edward again with love on the sands of Kingston that he's able to come to his senses and realize what really matters to himself. It's that theme of brotherhood that's so good. We can't walk this journey alone, no matter how much we think we can. There will always come a time where we need to lean on someone, or in the extreme, have them let us fall. And sometimes we can't learn to pick ourselves back up on our own and need someone to help us. Life's so funny. As I wrote that, it was coming from a place in me that I just intrinsically understood. And then I remembered that Alfred says practically the same thing in Batman Begins. And I find that funny because we put writers, artists, and all these people on pedestals for their amazing brains, actions, and feats. We tell ourselves that we can never do that, write that well, act, sing, hell, move outside of the arts, cook as well as Ramsay, run a business, or, like I thought, create a successful YouTube channel. And it's amusing to me because I naturally wrote one of the best quotes from a brilliant movie. Did I go to school to be a writer? Am I some director with critically acclaimed movies? Do I have any certification to be doing what I'm doing other than being human and sharing my experience? No. What I'm getting at is we are all special and none of us are. It reminds me of what Ezio said. My story is one of many thousands, and the world will not suffer if it ends too soon. But I'd like to change it a bit and say our story is one of many thousands, and the world will suffer if you think it isn't. So go do something. Create, build, do what you love, because you're the only one holding yourself back.